Hi, good morning. This is Trading Bitcoin. We have, okay, well, it's very exciting price action, but I don't know why Thor is falling asleep. It's okay. He'll pick up soon when he realizes exactly what's happening. But we have Tone streaming live from his Porcupine Fest. Yes, it's called Pork Fest, but it's a little confusing. Let's see that campground. What's up, Tone?
Yeah, so I moved to a slightly different direction, but there, I found a different table in the shade. It was 33 degrees here last night. It was completely ridiculous. It gets freezing here at night. It's insane. There's a giant bonfire. I will unfortunately miss the barbecuing of a real live porcupine. Well, I'm hoping it won't be alive. But on Sunday there was I think they grill a porcupine, but I leave today for Montreal.
They grill a porcupine?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Well, I guess you can eat any mammal, but
I guess, yeah. And for those that think porcupines are like cute and cuddly, they are not.
they're not. They're like
I,
really not. Okay.
I've had a run-in with a porcupine in like I think it was like either Utah or somewhere in that region. They look scary as hell. Like you don't want to be anywhere near that thing.
Okay, just really quickly, what's the craziest thing you've seen so far? It seems like there's so
Uh,
many interesting things you've seen. What's the craziest?
no, there's nothing really that crazy going on. No, I like it here. Like, I actually want to come back next year. Maybe I'll drag you and Thor out here next year with me.
I mean, maybe you could just
Well,
stay all year. I mean, it kind of
I
seems
know.
like you're.
You have some experience walking around the news in New Hampshire, right? I vaguely heard a story.
Are you evoking me getting lost in the woods for a week?
Yeah, I would love to know how you survived. What animals were you killing when you and another bright friend decided to go randomly walking through the woods of New Hampshire, and it took you a week to get out?
Oh God. Okay. I will make this really quickly because it's a terrifying story. And maybe I'll get myself in trouble with this. So I did go to the end of high school in Jerusalem, which is why I speak Arabic and Hebrew fluently. And when I came back, I thought I was pretty badass. And my friend, I will not talk anything political. We went to New Hampshire. She was living in Boston at the time before she moved back to Israel, and we were on our way there. We were 16 years old, and we stopped at an REI on the way to like pick up, some extra supplies. And we were telling them where we were going, of course, in the middle of the woods. And like this REI guy was like, "Oh, well, where you're going is like super mediocre. If you guys are really good hikers, you should go to this place. It's nice and difficult." So I was dumb and took up the challenge and went to apparently one of the most difficult hikes in all of New Hampshire in Franconia. And we got lost in the woods in the summer. So we got massively, I'm sure you're having problems with skeeters. It was actually terrifying, like actually lost in the woods for an entire week. And all we like heard was like the bears were gonna come. And I will say we had like 100 pounds on our back, and that's because we were also so stupid. I will admit on live air that we had 4 bottles of wine, and that's pretty much all the food that we had brought with us. So, okay, get me off the screen because this is like beyond stupidity. Um,
Well, at least you were having fun during that week. I hope you finished the wine while you were hiking.
that got finished really quickly. Yeah, that was the first thing that went. All right,
What'd you guys do for food?
it's a. But we tried to like salvage our Cliff Bars and like just like it was an interesting diet that I don't recommend to any woman or man. Let's just say that. Okay, get to your TA price.
All right, yeah, let's do TA. People are starting to panic all over the
Well,
internet.
actually, we lost Thor, so
And we
maybe
lost Thor.
scared too.
Yeah, he's telling us to get on with it. Um, okay, so, oh man, working with one monitor again. Oh, it's my website. So since I'm on the page, if you guys like my work and want to support my work, please check out the affiliates page. Also the workshops. I'm going to Montreal tonight. So if you are interested in the Montreal trading workshop, that's taking place tomorrow. I do a terrible job advertising. So it looks like about 7 people have signed up and we have about 13 seats remaining. I just added Atlanta. People have been asking me to come to Atlanta. It's now on the schedule, and so is Boston for August. I'm still working on, the rest. All right, let's, and if you want to learn trading, please check out the Learn Trading section of my website. I also need to update that. Let's talk about the price. Like, I had no idea that the price dropped. I mean, the internet here is like, you have to go to like very strategic locations next to like a tree with an X on it, and your cell phone can pick up some service reception. There's no Wi-Fi here. I'm running off of my own hotspots and my own SIM cards. So this morning, somebody in one of my group chats is like, oh, hey, in light of the price action, you may want to do a trading Bitcoin. I'm like, what price action? I go and take a look, and we are back down to 61.50. And I think we broke last week's low, which I'm going to look at when I go to lower level timeframes. That fell quickly. Like, even I thought that Bitcoin had a chance to bounce a little bit higher. And this is bad. This is really, really bad. We are now looking at a second consecutive week of lower closes than any other weekly close on the entire drop from mid-December. This is very bearish, okay? My target has been $4,975 in the first half of July. We are certainly on pace for that target as of this morning's action. This continues to fall faster than I have anticipated. It continues to fall faster than Van Zen had anticipated. And people continue to make fun of my bearish targets. People are not making that much fun of my $5,000 target, but they're making fun of my $3,000 target and $1,300 target. And look, we may not go that low, but we are dropping a lot faster. I would have been a lot more comfortable to see Bitcoin go up to $7,200, $7,300, and then make its way back to 6,500 and then drop from there. That would have been a lot cleaner. We are now still on a 6 of 9, and we have potentially 3 more weeks of downside. After we get a 9, it doesn't mean that the bear market is over and we're going to go up. A 9 is a double-edged sword. Sometimes a 9, let me make this bigger. Sometimes a 9 is a reversal to the upside, and sometimes a 9 is just a short pause in the downtrend before the downtrend accelerates. And I will, do my best to identify what type of a 9 it is. But this weekly chart is looking bad. Like, it also creates a bit of a tough trading environment where, look, the price to the downside is a bit overextended because we've been going down for so long. Now, ideally, I would like the downside to end at 5,000 with a massive reversal candle. Like, I want to see this. See this candle right here? That took place the week of February 5th. That candle opened at the price of $8,200. It fell down to $5,900. So we fell $2,300 from open to close, from open to low. And then we closed right around the open at above 8,000. So we opened at 82 and we closed at 8,050. This is the kind of candle I want to see the first or second week of July, maybe even the last week of December, but something in the vicinity of a 9 down. That could set up good momentum for a strong bounce back to the $8,000 area, or maybe even $6,500 area. We'll see on the bounce. And then from there, it's going to be, is it going to go back down to 3,000 or 4,000, or is the low in? And of course, as of now, I'm thinking that it's going to go even lower than 5, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on. The volume continues to drop. You can see how the average volume, now I understand this is only Bitstamp. I understand that. We really need a good index and a good, aggregator here. Now, we continue to accelerate very quickly. So once again, if I compare the current environment to the 2014 environment, I'm going to zoom this back out. What we have is I believe that we are now straight up in September. We are now in this vicinity of early to mid-September, where we accelerated for 3 consecutive weeks. And in those 3 consecutive weeks, the price dropped from an opening of 475, and it went to a low of 275. So 475 to 275 is approximately a 40% drop in price. Now notice the fat tail. Notice the wick on the bottom on that third week. That is what you want to see. Now, those of you that have attended my trading workshops, you know that when I see shooting stars, like what happened the week of September 22nd in 2014, there was a shooting star at the low, also known as an inverse hammer. I do not consider these candles reversal candles at all. They tell me there's more downside, contrary to what the textbooks say. Now, the following candle had a long wick on the bottom. It wasn't a hammer, but it was close enough. If I had to color the volume stick for the candle the week of September 29th, I would have colored that volume stick either green or yellow, either neutral or positive. The following candle reversed the price completely with a large green volume spike. Now, that did not lead to massive price gains because your moving averages had already turned over. And I believe, Leah, you did a Consensio video yesterday. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yep, we did.
Okay, so hopefully a lot of this stuff was explained in Hyperwave Consensio. You want to see these large wicks on the bottom. The bigger the wick, the better your chances of reversal. Look at the giant wick that took place on January 12th, the week of January 12th. That's what you want to get to. So I believe we are currently in the early September comparison to 2014. And I think we're going to get a similar candle to the low wick, the wick on the bottom, the hammer style candle with a long shadow on the bottom of the candle that took place the week of September 29th. I believe we're going to get something like this either the first or the second week of July. That is what I'm looking for as of now. Now, the big difference is when this happened in late September, the 50 and the 30-day moving averages had already, the 30 week had already crossed below the 50 week, but the 50 week was still trending up. The 50 week did not start trending down until late October, okay? In our current environment, because we are falling a lot faster than we did in 2014, we are still, it'll take till at least September before the moving averages cross between the 30 and the 50. But the price is already lower. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that I really hope that it means we're going to bottom sooner. It doesn't mean we're going to bottom higher. It means I'm hoping we're going to bottom sooner. But the pessimist bear, I'm an optimist bear, right? Like as people like to like be mad at me for being a bear in this market, I'm a very optimistic bear, okay? Now, if I was a pessimistic bear, I would say because we are falling faster than in 2014 and the moving averages are nowhere near crossing and the price is already so low compared to 2014, not only we're going to bottom later and lower. So that's what a real pessimist would look at. This is why Van Zen's target has been 2,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if he lowers that. That's where we are on a weekly chart. Let's look at a daily chart. Now, unfortunately, for traders using the daily chart, it would have been very difficult to time your trade because the daily chart gave you room to go all the way to 7,100, like 7,050, this red line, 7,050. And the daily chart was on a 5 of 9, telling you for a potential of maybe 3 to 4 more days of upside. And then you hit resistance at I believe that's the 30-day moving average. You have your resistance at the 30-day moving average and this red line, which was the level of the prior low. Prior low support has now become resistance. And it came out of nowhere looking at daily candles, and we have now dropped. And if the candle closes at the current price, we are looking at a brand new daily close, which is the opposite of bullish, okay? This is bad. This candle is also not a reversal candle. There's absolutely no support anywhere here. I don't even know what this line is. Oh, this is the Fibonacci line. This is the Fibonacci line from the prior drop. And I would remove this line the moment we go lower than this line. This line would no longer make any sense or no longer be useful. So this is absolutely not a support line. This line references the February swing low. And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. Here is your February swing low, and it came to just under 6,000. Your lowest close low prior to today was about 2 weeks ago or a week ago on June 13th. And the moment you pierce this black line at 6,000, not only will you have a lower closing low, you will have a lower swing low, telling you with confidence and confirmation that we are not at the bottom. This is not how markets bottom, and we are going to go lower. Now, the 12-hour chart should have done a much better job helping you time your trade, okay? And that is absolutely true. You can see how I would have had this red line in my videos for weeks. Maybe not weeks, but certainly a week. I would have had this red, well, it's a 12-hour chart, sorry. I would have had this red line here for about a week on the 12-hour chart. And you can see how, just go back to my prior videos, we hit this line, and I was saying the daily line was at 7,050, but the 12-hour line was at 6,750, and we were never able to close above this line. This line provided beautiful resistance. I know I said that the longer we stay at this line, the higher the probability that we will break above it, but we never broke above it, and we allowed the 30-period moving average to come down, meet this line, and completely reject the price. And now look what happened. We have now fallen below this red line. So there was absolutely a tradable opportunity using the 12-hour chart, because even if you were blindly trading the sequential indicator, it would have told you to go short the moment a red 2 started trading below the red 1, which took place right here. That is your short. That is your short trade. Your stop loss would have been absolutely beautiful and very clear. I slept through this. I had no idea this happened. I had no internet. I mean, last night I was hanging out by a big bonfire. Had no clue this happened. And I think this candle just started. I saw the price 2 hours ago. That's what I thought we were still at 6,700. My internet got disconnected. Am I good, Leah?
You're good.
Okay. Your stop loss is absolutely very clear. The moment you would have entered that trade, your stop loss is right here, maybe even a smidge lower. It's clear. Now that we're falling below this line, first of all, you can certainly almost double down on your trade. When a red 3 goes below a red 2, creating new lows, but there's no way this trade should cost you money. I would already be setting a stop loss in the middle of this red candle for a beautiful, profitable trade. Hey, I couldn't talk about it live because I had no idea this occurred. Last time I looked at price was with you guys 24 hours ago. And then I was debating. You guys saw my day yesterday. I was debating the Bcash people. Okay, wait. I was debating the Dash people. Then I was debating the Bcash people. I had to do presentations here, and of course, I have to talk to people and listen to their ICO ideas and why they're different, which is also interesting, I guess. Let me not. Anyway, you know how I feel about those. Okay, 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart was not able to break above the setup trend line. Again, this indicator is very, very useful. Look at your giant fall in the CMF, the check-in money flow. Now, for the 4-hour chart traders, keep an eye on the next candle. The next candle is going to be a 9. The volume is going up, but the next candle is going to be a 9. So I am expecting sometime in the next 6 hours, a low. It will be interesting if I win my bet with Doug Polk in the next 6 hours. Now, I think it's very, very possible. If not, I'll, again, I will win that bet earlier than I expected. I expected to win that bet in July. It's starting to look like I'll be winning it in June. But I do believe we're going to bottom, if not on the candle number 8, then on the next candle, on the 4-hour chart, candle number 9. If the current candle is a reversal candle, you're still going to get your 9, but it could already be on the way up. If the current 4-hour candle shows you weakness and does not close as a reversal candle, there's a high probability that the next candle will take you lower. But I do believe that the price is getting exhausted on a short-term level, looking at this 4-hour chart, and at least a 1 to 4 candle correction is coming. And then most likely, you're going to resume the downtrend because the 12-hour chart is only on a 3, and the daily chart has just gotten started. So I think this is the move to 5,000. I think the move to 5,000 has been kicked off. And if we reach under 5,000 in June, it could be a little bit harder for me to, time the situation because it'll happen a little bit ahead of schedule. But in any case, let's go to the 1-hour chart. I have to move it up. Wow. Like, again, the last time I looked at these charts was on live videos. Here is the 1-hour chart. Jesus. So again, for you 1-hour chart traders, and using the sequential indicator and system, you can see here how you ended up hitting a 9. You had a little bit of a, dead cat bounce. Oh, I'm getting a message. Hold on. Is my internet okay? Oh, the Bitstamp chart is already on a 9 on a 4-hour chart. Interesting. Okay, hey, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, so we can easily bounce. The bottom could be in short term on a 4-hour chart, and or it can happen sometime over the next 4 hours. Now, I'm going to be like in about an hour or two, I'll be driving up to Montreal. That's about a 4-hour drive plus the border. Who the hell knows? So I will kind of be disconnected. So I have no idea what's going to happen, but you guys need to be aware that there can certainly be a short-term bounce. Let's look at the 1-hour chart. You have the 9 that led to a slight pause in price. The moment, and this is how you trade this indicator, this is why people attend my workshops. The moment you dropped below the swing low, it was beautiful. You had the 9 has not been able to prove itself as a significant rebound. You then had a red 2 trade below a red 1 as you were dropping below the swing low. This is a beautiful trade right here at 6,475, whatever it is, okay? And at this point, you are trading the countdown. See these numbers below the candles? 1 to 13, right? So you can see that the aggressive has already showed up. I'll glance at the 10-minute chart as well. You can see how the aggressive 13 has shown up, the sequential 13 has shown up, but you were accelerating on yet for another 9, and you got another 9. So we now have a 9 on the 1 hour. Now, because the 4 hour is coming up on a 9, this 1 hour 9 has a high probability of going all the way back up to 63, 6,400, back to the levels of the breakdown, maybe get close to the setup trend line at 63.50. Okay, I'm getting internet interruption signals. Am I good?
You're good.
Leah? Okay, I'm good. You were frozen for a second. And here, look at this volume. Look at this massive volume spike. And I know I'm talking about volume more so. Whenever you have this big red volume spike, but look at the wick. Most of the volume on this candle was the buying volume, not the selling volume. So this big volume spike is actually green. This is the kind of candle I want to see. I want to see a hammer at the lows. I understand that the following hour, we went slightly lower, but then the price reversed. But now we are reversing on decelerating volume. This is a straight up dead cat bounce. Now the 4-hour momentum can take us all the way up to potentially this moving average and this red line and whatever this line is from the Ichimoku cloud. So we could go back up there. Leah, I gotta stop to read your messages. Oh, this is the 10-minute chart. Oh, this is the 10-minute chart. Damn it. I didn't look at the time. No wonder I had to scroll so far back. Okay, sorry. Thank you for that. So this is the 10-minute chart. Well, the analysis is the same, right? Again, I look at candles. I don't necessarily look at the thing. We'll look at the 1-hour chart in a minute. So fine, this is the 10-minute chart. So had you traded the 10-minute chart, this is how you should have done it. Now, this candle here should have told you, hey, I need to be very, very careful. The price could start to go back up. You hit your 9. I think that this will go higher. But now we have to go to the hour chart and see if the 1-hour chart is in line with the 4-hour chart. I don't know, why do I have a 10-minute chart on that? Here's the 1-hour chart. Oh, there it is. The 1-hour chart is on a 9. So the 1-hour chart is already on a 9. So the 1-hour momentum has pretty much ended. Now, here's the bad news. The bad news is that by you getting this 9, you broke the setup trend line. So there's a high probability that this 9 will lead to another countdown. Those are the numbers along the bottom. You will lead to another countdown. You're almost on a 13, but your hourly is ready for a rebound. Your 4-hour is ready for a rebound, either current candle or next candle. And but the 12-hour and daily are just getting started. So this is gonna be a short-term rebound, can probably go as high as 6,400. And then over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm expecting significantly lower prices down to into 5,000. Okay, that's pretty much it. We can look at the 30-minute chart. What was that? Here's the 30-minute chart. The 30-minute chart is on a 7 of 9. It may get to a 9. We'll see. The 5 was an up candle, so that helps. The 4 has a little tail, which means this volume was positive for the bulls, and this volume was terrible for the bears. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. Let's go back to a 1-hour chart so I don't screw myself up tomorrow when I do this video. Do I care about Ethereum? No, I don't. But since I never close my charts, there's nothing interesting here. I guess the most interesting thing in Ethereum is the dollar price of Ethereum, because it gives you a beautiful pattern. This triangle should be green, not red. Hold on. Otherwise, style, green, and green. That triangle should be green, not red. And now you're working on a monster cup and handle below this red line of 365 bucks, and Ethereum is royally screwed. Gold weekly continues to drop. I believe this 9 is going to be the beginning of a trend to the downside. You're on a countdown to 13. Wall Street is on this weekly trade, I guarantee you. And this is the monthly one, and the monthly one looks very bad. Also, people have been asking me to look at the quarterly Bitcoin chart. I'm actually gonna, maybe I will do that. I'm gonna go to the monthly Bitcoin chart. I am gonna use an index because I don't really care for live updating. Daily updating is fine. Here is my monthly chart. Let me see if my latest indicator is on this chart. I believe that it is. I'm not displaying anything. And we topped on a compo 13 the month after a 9. And people have been asking me for, this is the monthly chart. We're on a 4. So 5 more months of downside. So that's July, August, September, and October. That's perfect. I am looking for a low in October. And if I go to a quarterly chart, wait, this is a, yeah, it's a monthly chart. Let's go to a quarterly chart. 4 months. Is 4 months quarterly? No, 3 months is quarterly. My math is a little off here. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at the quarterly chart. The quarterly chart topped on a 9, and we are looking at a 1 to 4 quarter correction, which again makes sense. We already had 1 quarter correction. Quarter 2 is going to end very, very soon in 2 weeks. So it's very possible that next quarter or the quarter after we're going to bottom. Where is this bottom? Well, it's anywhere between 1,300 and 5,000. If we're lucky, it's 5,000. If we're not lucky, it's 1,300. But this is the quarterly chart. Look how many quarters we were going down in 2014. We did get a 9. It wasn't, you know, at the very top, but it was not far from there, right? Like the bottom didn't set in. We got a 9. We had a 1, 2 candle correction after the 9 itself. Though if you count the 9 candle as the correction, you had 1, 2, 3, and then a week of doji, and then another week of a doji. So this was approximately a 1 to 4 candle correction. And then we set off on a countdown to 13, which we have not even reached. So this is a very good sign. This makes me very optimistic. I do not believe that we are going to go down for 9 quarters. And remember, more than 9 quarters potentially, because we're still counting green. I do believe this is a 1 to 4 quarter correction, hopefully finishing sometime late this year in October. And then we can set off on a second countdown to the upside and finishing the first countdown to the upside as well at the same time. Yeah, so, yeah, what's up?
You get a $2 tip to check out Litecoin.
Sure, let's do that. I'm clearly like, you know, let me stay clean here. That's all I'm worth, $2 to do stuff.
Yep. Bitcoin's down.
Litecoin. Okay, so let me see here. So we got Litecoin weekly versus Bitcoin. We got a Litecoin daily versus Bitcoin. And I guess I should look at Litecoin versus the dollar. LTC USDT using Poloniex. Does Poloniex still exist? I have BTCE, but that one.
My circle.
Yeah, I know, but does anyone trade there now? Okay, so let's look at Litecoin versus the dollar first. This looks bad. So this is the fate of Ethereum, right? So look at what I'm talking about here. So here is, let me make this bigger, and I'll make this bigger, and maybe I can put Ethereum like side by side. So this is Litecoin versus the dollar. Let me do side by side with Ethereum. So I want the Ethereum dollar chart on this side. So ETH, USD, and man, which one did I have on here? This is Bitfinex. Okay, let's do Bitfinex then. Let's be consistent. So, all right, I might get an internet interruption. So ETH, USD, Bittrex, Binance. Jesus Christ, can you start with another letter? Where's Bitfinex? USDT maybe? I don't see it. Bitfinex, there it is. No, that's the shorts. Here it is, Ethereum dollar Bitfinex. Okay. What's the time frame? Daily. Right. And what's the time frame here? Daily. Excellent. Let me move this out of the way. So here's the thing, right? If I zoom this out, this is Ethereum on the right, and this is a Litecoin on the left. Now, this is really bad in that you see how this is how bubbles pop. You see how Litecoin went straight up to almost $400. Then it fell real quick, made a lower high. Then it made an equal bottom. And you can see how it's breaking the low. So, man, this thing is really in the way here. Okay, let me make this bigger. I'm gonna move the, oh man. Like, okay, it's a little bit sort of better. Oh, but now I can't draw. Damn, I can't win. Anyway, I think you get the point. Like, shoot. Like basically, Litecoin, Litecoin had this support, and it was very critical, and it was probably coinciding with like prior highs somewhere. Maybe not perfectly in dollar terms, or maybe that's the $100 round number, like this area here, right? And you are breaking below that. That is bad. That is very bad. But look what happened. You had this support, you bounced. Now I can't see the dates. So frustrating. You bounced back in February along with Bitcoin. You made a lower high. Now, Ethereum was different. Ethereum's Mendoza line. Oh, wait. Right. Ethereum's Mendoza line is here. If I take this high and I drag it here, so Ethereum is different. Litecoin is way ahead. Litecoin had already had its second pop, then it came back to support, then it had its third pop, made a lower high, and now then it made a tiny high recently in June, and now it's breaking the line. Ethereum is only at this stage here. So Ethereum is where Litecoin was back in March. All of these bubbles pop the same way. They just do it at a different time. Like these charts are basically identical. They're pretty much identical, okay? And Litecoin is leading the way down of altcoins, and Ethereum is gonna follow. Now, Ethereum can certainly bounce off 400. It can go back to 600. Then it's gonna come back to 400, and then it's gonna crash from 400 down to 200. This is what Litecoin's doing. Litecoin came back down to 110, then it bounced all the way back to 175, came back to 110, bounced to 125. Now that it's broken 110, it's on its way for probably a 50% correction. So expect Litecoin to go down to approximately $50. Now that also makes sense. Well, the prior high is more like in the current area, but I think it's going to go all the way down to 50. And Ethereum is going to be like 3 or 4 months behind, but the pattern is going to remain. It can easily bounce off 400, go to 6, come back to 4, go up to 5, come back to 4, and then crash for 50% to 200 very quickly. And if we're all lucky, if the world wants to be saved from crazy, Ethereum will then go to 0. Yeah, so keep that in mind. So I'm finding the Litecoin versus the dollar chart very, very interesting. Let's look at Litecoin versus Bitcoin. Where am I here? So this is the daily. Let's look at the weekly first. This is the weekly. So your weekly Litecoin versus Bitcoin, it's like versus Bitcoin, it's not looking that bad. But remember, Bitcoin, I'm expecting Bitcoin to crash as well. So Litecoin versus Bitcoin is on a 6 of 9 weekly. So maybe 3 more weeks of Litecoin underperforming Bitcoin. And then potentially when Bitcoin bounces, when Bitcoin hits a low of 5,000 in early July, Bitcoin's going to bounce, and Litecoin has a very strong chance of bouncing stronger than Bitcoin around early July. So look for a 9 in Litecoin weekly in early July for a potential 1 to 4 week bounce versus Bitcoin, and then probably lower into the countdown. Okay, I'm also expecting the 9 here to be more of a 9 starting the decline, not a 9 that's ending the decline. Let's go to the daily chart of Litecoin versus Bitcoin. And see, here's a good example, right? So daily, we had a beautiful aggressive 13 with a nice long wick, followed by a bullish candle for a 9, but it did not lead. Oh, sorry, internet interruption again. Give me a second. I'm gonna wait for Leah to give me the okay.
You're good. Nothing changed.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. And I had a green positive candle on daily. This took place on June 14th. It was a 9. Now, after the following candle was a down day, and the candle after that was a down day. And in addition, the following candle, look what happened there. This is how you trade the sequential system. The following candle gave you a lower low and almost a lower close on the whole swing. You could have played it safe and waited till the following candle. But when you see this 2 and 3 candles, June 16th and June 17th, on Litecoin versus Bitcoin, show you that this 9 that took place on the 14th of June is not giving you any kind of strength back to the upside. You trade the countdown, and the current countdown is on a, oh, we're still trading the countdown from that 9. Jesus. But this 9 has its own countdown. So this 9 has started its own countdown to the downside. So, and this 9 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is a, you have a 9 and then you have a 5 that you can't see. So after the countdown from the 9 that took place, I don't know, what date is that? In May 24th, after that 13 plays its course, after that 13 plays out, and remember, the aggressive 13 already took place from that 9. It happened a lot sooner. Here's what happens when oh, I'm still using the old indicators. Hold on, guys. Let me get the latest clean code up. Favorites. Boom. And let me change sequential to aggressive. See, you can see how the aggressive from the 9 that took place on May 24, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, boom, 13, bounced the price, didn't hold, kept going. So the new aggressive is on an 8. If I change aggressive to sequential, looks very different. Because the math rules are different. The sequential is nowhere, is not even at a 13 yet, and the aggressive had already completed. And now there is another sequential. But anyway, please read all the documentation on how to trade the sequential system. And you're on an 8. So that means tomorrow we will probably bottom short term, or maybe we have already bottomed because this 8 candle is massive. So Litecoin on a daily chart is ready for a short 1 to 4 day rebound before continuing to go lower, because the weekly version still has 3 more weeks of downside. I think that was the most time I spent analyzing Litecoin possibly ever. So enjoy it, guys.
A lot of Litecoin tone.
Yes.
So it's Friday, which is fun for traditional markets. Can you look at S&P really quickly?
Sure. Check that out. Gold, same. S&P, here's the S&P weekly. It looks like we're bouncing into the end of the week. The weekly is on a 913 sell off a doji. Like, you can't get a better signal than that to get the hell out of your short-term bullish positions and wait. Now look for a 1 to 4 candle correction and reevaluate. The moment the price either shows me a reversal candle in the next couple of weeks, I will once again be a bull, unless it starts to drop quickly, in which case I will be a bear. Or if we have already reversed and I cannot time the dip on a 1 to 4 weekly correction, I would become a bull upon a new closing high above 2780 or above a swing high of 2790. That's the weekly S&P. Here is the daily S&P, and the daily S&P is on a 6, so I will be looking for a reversal in the S&P. This is tricky because the 5 candle is really crappy for the trading of the So it's like bugs all over my laptop. The 5 candle is crappy for trading the sequential. You wanted the 5 candle to be more like the 4 candle on 620, not the big drop on 621. So it's a bit tricky right now. I would love to see a 9 form in the vicinity of 2740, bouncing off the 30-day moving average sometime mid next week, setting you up for a bounce to the upside. We can also get a 9 in the vicinity of 2740, setting us up for the countdown to 13, keeping us above the setup trend line at 2700, and we will still be in line with the weekly 1 to 4 candle correction. So look, it's not easy timing the dip, but this is the dip. I am not scared about the stock market. All it is short-term timing. I would try to time moving back into the S&P in the vicinity of a low 2700s. And if I'm unable to time that, I would just wait for the breakout in the vicinity of 2800, and that should us up for a very positive year-end close. So that's my S&P outlook.
Okay, last serious question. At what price are you gonna quit and start this fitness lifestyle content specifically focused on, paleo?
How about $875? Or
Specific.
or $155,000.
Okay, you guys heard it. All right, that's it, Tom.
All right. So we're good. We're good on the QA. Let me stop screen share.
We're good.
All right. Yeah, we got that done about under an hour. Oh wait, let me go back to screen share for a second. I wanna chill my affiliate codes. I haven't done that in a long time. Hey guys, if you like my work and you want to support my work, please check out the affiliates and referrals page, where you get discounts. And well, some of them are discounts, but none of them cost you any money extra. But if you are going to sign up for any of these companies, whether it's VPN or TradingView or trading on BitMEX or buying a hardware wallet, please use the affiliate codes. And if you want to learn about the sequential system that I use in my analysis, that is in section 6, known as time analysis, in the Learn Trading educational part of my blog. And in about an hour, I will begin my drive from New Hampshire up to Montreal, where I will be doing a trading workshop for those that want to learn technical analysis and be better traders. So please check that out, or sign up for Atlanta on July 7th. All right. I think now that's it. I have not kept an eye on the live chat. So Leah, hope it was, good. And I have no idea how many people watched this. Hope there was a fair amount.
Let's see. I think there was, and I do keep eyes on your live chat. It is, it's pretty interesting at times for sure. A lot of interesting questions. Anyways, everybody have a great day. Thanks, Don.
Bye, guys. Good luck trading.